BeastNet Podcast, sponsored in part by James Safety Services, OCR Buddy, and supported by the fitness community. Here we discuss all things fitness related, running, rucking, mental health and preparedness, and of course, obstacle course racing. Welcome to the BeastNet.
Hey everybody, it's Mike here with BeastNet, and on this episode I got with me my Ohana, Richard Park. So Richard, let everyone know real quick who you are.
My name is Richard Park III. I got into the Spartan race in 2017. That was the first one I did. And I ended up signing up for the whole trifecta, so I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I started doing free group trainings out of the garage, and I started the Hawaii Spartan Ohana Facebook page. And so that's kind of the story that Spartan found out about, and they really liked it. So they actually did a little video on me and how I'm trying to grow the group here in Hawaii.
Nice. And see, I'm part of the group when I'm in Hawaii. So we ran into each other in 18.
That's right.
So I didn't see you in 17. I was there in 17, but I didn't see you in 18. Was when I ran into you during the hurricane.
That's right.
And actually, it was Amy, one of our other friends. She was the one that went to one of the workouts. And then we ended up meeting because of Amy at the Spartan party.
That's right. That's right.
That was a wild time. You don't realize how many Spartans don't drink until there's a situation where they all have free drink tickets.
Yeah, this is true. I actually have from this past weekend. I was trying to give away, but even Brandon's like, I don't drink. Like nobody drinks.
Every once in a while I'll use one, but not very often.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that party, we had a table, and everyone that didn't drink it just kind of suddenly realized that we did. So they just kept putting more and more tickets. Like, oh, you want the tickets? And we had a pile on our table, and we're like, just take some if you want it. Because
at Hawaiian Brian's, that's right. That's right. Yes, I remember that. Yes. Oh my gosh.
I kind of do. I kind of remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we met, and then I ran with you guys in 19. And then, of course, we all know what happened in 20. Yeah. And then this year I went back and ran with you guys again. So it's great. So let everyone kind of know too. I mean, you mentioned the workouts, but you guys have quite a few workouts. And a lot of people I think don't realize too is the Ohana is everyone from someone who just got off the couch this morning to elite racers.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's a big group.
Yeah. So for myself, when I first found out about the Spartan race, I thought it would be fun to try. And so when I heard about West Coast Spartan, which is a huge group. And so Darren, my friend, said, hey, check out this group and maybe we can learn some things and get some tips and whatnot. And so I was looking for one in Hawaii. I was like, how come we don't have one out of Hawaii? And, I was watching in some of these groups, they have like a whole bunch of people get together and train together. And I'm like, man, that looks so fun. And so that's why, I kind of created, the group. And so it was blind leading the blind. I didn't know what I was doing, but, in my mom's garage, I had swinging ropes originally. It started with my son. So he likes Ninja Warrior. He was 7 at the time. And so, and they didn't have the junior, Ninja Warrior Junior at the time. So I said, well, you can start training, but you got to wait till you're 21. So I built a cargo net, some swinging ropes and a climbing rope. And within less than 2 months, he was able to do it all. And he's like, Daddy, you try. And I couldn't even go from one rope to the next. It was just, I had gained some weight, I was out of shape. And so I was like, man, I got to keep up with my boys. So I better start training. And so that's what kind of inspired me to get in shape. And so that was in 2016. And over the year, I lost about 29 pounds. I wasn't, too big, but I just was getting round and fluffy and, no muscle. So I lost about 29 pounds, and then I put on about, maybe 8 to 10 pounds in muscle. And then I was kind of like stagnant, like, what am I going to do? And, I'm at the age where I'm not trying to have a bodybuilder body and impress people, Then when I saw the Spartan race, to me, that was like, wow, you can actually train for something, with a purpose, and then test it out on the course to see how you do. And then you can improve on it and see if you do better, later on in other races. So, that's kind of how it all started. And me wanting to do the Spartans. So then, okay, I want to start building things. So in my mom's garage, I got rings, because they don't have the swinging ropes for the Spartans. So I got the Olympic rings and hung them. I made the spear throw. made the spears and bought the straw bales. You know, everybody's like, the spear throw is like one of the biggest burpee makers. And I'm like, how hard could it be to throw a spear? It's pretty hard. So I'm glad I made the spears, you know, made sandbags. And then I just posted, you know, the Hawaii Spartan Ohana Facebook page. And it started with literally me and Darren on the page. And somehow people started finding us. And then slowly it was like 5 people would come and train 10. And then close to the Spartan race was like 30 to 40 people would be at the house training, which is, it was super fun. You know, just kind of hanging out. And like you said, there were people who were doing their first Spartan race, like myself, but they were right off the couch and they got a month and a half to go, you know. So it was trying to teach them technique, you know, give them tips so we all can survive and enjoy, you know. And then in 2018, when the Spartan race got canceled, you know, that's how the group actually grew even more. So people were finding us, you know, people coming to Hawaii, they want to join the group, you know, to plug in. But in 2018, when the race was canceled, we decided to have our own event, you know. So at my training partner Jason's house in Salt Lake area, they have these huge trees. And so we would train there regularly. We'd hang the rope for the rope climb and do Herc hoist, Tyrolean traverse. We'd have all the sandbags and sleds, and we had two huge tires, a 200-pound tire and a 400-pound tire, Atlas stones. I mean, just the works, you know, pretty much a little sprint. So we would do an area and then you'd run around the block, which is about half a mile. So if you do everything, you end up doing about 3 miles a sprint. And I made an 8-foot wall, spear throw. So it was really great way for people to practice their technique. Before 18 canceled the training, we had about 60 to 70 people showing up to those trainings. We even made a slip and slide because we wanted people to get wet. So we made a big slip and slide with a water hose and get wet, you know, before some of the grip exercises, you know, like the rings and stuff. So that was really fun. But when the race got canceled, I was moping around. I was really bummed. And Jane's like, why don't we just have an event here, you know, free, just because there were people that came that couldn't cancel and they were looking for something to do. So I told him, are you sure? You know, we might get a lot of people. He said, that's fine, let's do it. So we invited, you know, I just posted and we ended up with about 100 people here, you know, so half the people were local, the other half were from the mainland, but we also have international. We had Australia, Canada, Korea, Japan, Guam, Philippines, Singapore, Hungary, Germany, you know, a lot of different places were represented. And that's how actually I think I also met Amy. Amy came to that as well.
Mhm.
And you know, she connected us with you folks, and that's how we kind of started the relationship originally, just kind of long distance and you know, as a sister club. So to me it was a bummer that 18 canceled, but our you know, Ohana really grew. Our family Ohana really grew at that point. And so now it's like anybody on our page, if you're traveling somewhere, you know, especially Washington, hook up with you guys. But you know, if it's anywhere, even international, Philippines, China, Japan, you know, Korea, you know, we probably have somebody there that, you know, you could kind of touch base with at least, you know, which is really cool. So and it's been an amazing ride. Been an amazing ride.
It has been. I mean, I've kind of, you know, like I said, I kind of came in right there, you know, during 18 and just to see how much you've grown since then. And
Yeah.
I mean, how much being there at the races this weekend. I mean, it was just seeing everybody, you know, and it just, you never felt, I didn't feel like I wasn't at home. I felt like I was at home. I mean, we had, you know, started the beast that morning with everybody. And of course, you know, we split
Yeah.
smaller groups as we ran. But I mean, it was amazing. Just everyone was there. I mean, we saw everyone. I mean, I went and saw Darren, had dinner with him before, you know, before the races. So I get my shirt so I can make sure I could rep the,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, the Ohana while I was out there. Yeah, so I mean, it was a blast. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so cool to see everyone, and I mean, and watch even just you on Facebook and everyone else, and watch everyone's growth. I
Yeah.
mean, I know everyone's had some, you know, a little bit of setbacks through COVID, but most people it seems like they're really growing. I mean,
Yeah.
and still doing amazing. I mean, you family wise are growing, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been I remember when we first started the group before the Spartan race, the 2017 one, we were up to 75 people. We're like, woo, almost at 100. Then after the race, we had over 100. We broke through 100. Now we have about 1,300 people. So it's still, you know, it's still growing. You know, looking forward to it growing more. But you know, the thing I like about it, it's just been such, you know, just Spartan in general, it's such a positive community,
Mhm.
you know, support. And you know, my goal is just to provide, I guess knowledge and a support group for others in Hawaii or wherever, to plug into, because I didn't have that. It's like I didn't know what to do, so I'm Googling things. So whether it's nutrition or gear or obstacle technique or that type of thing, I want to try to help provide that, and just provide more connections. So in like 2017, I ran for myself. I was doing the best I can, right? And in the 2019 as well. And then this year, I knew in my mind that I wanted to run as a group because I felt like I wasn't hanging out with people.
Yeah.
So I felt like, it's like, okay, I'm trying to build this community and then I'm doing stuff by myself. Like, what am I doing? So it was a really great experience. And I train hard, and so I felt like I can support others, through the races. But I got to tell you, the COVID thing kind of got in my head. Races getting canceled, and I barely trained. And then of course the twins coming, affected my training even more so. So I went out there pretty much couch to trifecta, like without training, So
Yeah.
uh, I was the one who ended up needing the support and the push, and we'll talk about that, I guess, in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But it just it was really touching to me. It's almost like it's kind of coming full circle. Like I started this, you're trying to support others, and then in the end, I needed the support, and I had tons of support. And just being out on the course that day, running into other people who have joined, and maybe they're not as active, but hey, we're part of the Ohana, or you see Darren's shirts, our group shirts around, and it's awesome. It's a really, really great feeling. Yeah.
It is. It's awesome seeing him. It's like I told Darren, if he does the
Yes.
design we were talking about on the
Yeah.
shirt, the next shirts, I will tattoo that one on my body.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that if he does that design, that's amazing. So that one will be that'll be on my body permanently. So tell us a little about Saturday. I mean, Saturday was one of those ones. Of course, we did the
Yeah.
beast Saturday. We all started together. We stayed together for quite a bit.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about Saturday. I mean, it's one of those things too, is Saturday really shows your selflessness. Sorry, I almost said that wrong. Selflessness in helping others. So, I mean,
Yeah.
let us know a little bit about Saturday.
Yeah, so well, I guess we'll start again at where I was physically. So physically, I was concerned about myself just being able to keep up with the group. But I did want to support others. And there's people online, oh, my first Spartan in this, I want support. And in the end, it was mainly us. There wasn't too many people I didn't know that connected. So I guess they were doing their own thing. But in the very beginning, we ran into a guy who, a great, nice, big heart guy. He's a little bigger stature, and he was struggling, for off the bat. So and throughout the whole race, I was checking on people like, how you doing? Are you cramping? I have salt pills. Do you need salt pills? We got fuel. And that was my goal. So I had a pack full of fuel, whether it was the gummies or cookies, crackers, the gels, that type of thing, salt pills, Tums, the tape to wrap the hands. So I was prepared to, just be the support for whoever I could. And this gentleman we ran into, right off the bat, and we could tell he's struggling. He seemed like he was by himself, and so we're like, oh, how you doing? And when we were in party pace, so we're cruising. He was a little slower than party pace, but we're like, okay, we'll hang out with him. And so that's kind of how our group kind of got separated. We started with 13, and I think six of us held back, and the other, seven went on, and they finished a little before us. But yeah, so we hung with him, and we're supporting him, and hey, you got this, helping him over obstacles. And he's kind of a bigger boy, so just helping him over the obstacles, do what we got to do, sharing burpees with him, um, giving him salt pills. He was cramping from pretty early on, salt pills and tabs. And he was even kind of telling us, oh, you guys can go. He felt kind of bad, but we're like, no, we're party pace, it's okay, we support. And he kind of mentioned it a few times that, nobody's ever really, supported him. They just kind of run by. And I don't think it's anything against him. I just think if you're male in general, people don't really offer too much support. They just assume you're okay, possibly. And so we could tell he was struggling. So, and that's something that I love about our Ohana and our group, and especially the group that we all ran together that day, that we were all there supporting him. We knew we were going at an exceptionally slow pace, but nobody complained. Nobody's like, we should just bail on him. Hey, dude, good luck. We all stuck with him, and, without any complaints. And I was super happy about that. And I felt bad because my goal, I didn't care about time. my goal was to support others as long as I finished. I didn't care how long I took, but also too, I don't want to be the one holding people back, whether it's me just waiting, because I know you guys didn't want to leave me either, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave him, and Darren too. Darren was very, very supportive, really kind of trying to push him along. Um, so I was really, really touched by that and very happy with that. Like that just shows, the hearts that, we have in our group. And, that's really important to me. But when we got to right before the single track, so for those of you who don't know the Hawaii Beast, it's there's some hills, but it gets to the back portion in the Beast, which is usually a few miles that it's only one person most of that can fit through this trail. It's very narrow and it gets very steep. And that gentleman was already struggling, and it wasn't even steep hills. So we were concerned that if we got back there, if he would get stuck, or not be able to complete it, and somebody may have to go in there to get him, which would be difficult as well. So he was already cramping pretty bad. So we did have the conversation and, just kind of, ask him how he's feeling. And so he did decide to stop at that point, which was near an aid station. So I think it was a wise decision. But he was still very thankful, and he actually found us on Facebook. He couldn't remember my name or the Hawaii Spartan Ohana. He was on the Spartan Racers Hawaii Facebook page, and
Mhm.
he was asking, hey, there was this guy carrying a flag, this great group of people, super supportive, great group, anybody know who it is? And they're like, oh, that was Richard, and that's Hawaii Spartan Ohana. So he hooked up, and he was, very thankful, and just kind of reiterated about how nobody's ever really helped him, and he was really touched by it, and he wanted to be part of that group. And that's really what I want from our group. It's just we have the elite racers like Jono and Eric and all those guys, but for me, I want to enjoy, I want to support, and that was probably the most satisfying part of the whole weekend, that portion of it, supporting others and helping. Yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome. I mean, it was great helping him. And I mean, it was one of those things that, we pretty much all have the same attitude. It's like, we just want to finish the race. And I mean, if we help someone have either a great experience or finish a race that they wouldn't have finished without us, then we did our job. And
Yep.
that's always been my way of doing it. And it's one reason why I love the Ohana is pretty much everyone has that same attitude.
Yeah.
Unless they're running, and I get the guys, I've ran competitive and I get the
Yeah.
competitive heats. Competitive
Yeah.
heats, if you're in the competitive heat, you're there to just go.
Sure. Yeah.
But like I did in Portland, I did the competitive heat and then turned around and jumped back in the sprint with, my friends, and did the open heat and helped everyone through. And I mean, I almost like that better. I like pushing myself sometimes, but at the same time, I enjoyed like we did it,
I
and
agree.
this last weekend. Could I have finished a lot faster? Probably.
Sure. Yeah.
But would I've enjoyed it as much? Probably not.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. So in 2017, if you guys watch that, it's the video is called Spartan Stories Ohana. So that's the video Spartan did on me. It's about 13-minute video, and it kind of explains how this whole thing got started. But that year, the beast, I was cramping really bad, and so I'm trying to push myself. I came back the next day, and I was still trying to go fast, but I wanted to complete it. And definitely the second day I enjoyed more. I was talking more to people, and so then I thought, okay, I'm gonna just try to push myself because I want to better my times, and just see what I can do. And then we had it's like we're batting 50%, 500, for the Spartan race. Like every other year, it's canceled. And so this year, I knew in my mind that I'd rather cruise with others, because the year before I tried doing the ultra and the hurricane heat followed by the ultra, and I barely made the hurricane heat completion. And the ultra, I did one lap and I passed out, but I felt bad because we started early before people got there. They wanted to interview us before the largest team tent. So John and them did it. I wasn't able to participate because I was on the course. And if I would have finished the ultra, I probably would have been there longer than people would have stayed. So I would have missed everybody altogether. But fortunately, we had the largest team tent, and I passed out in the tent. So when I woke up, there were still people there, So, and then that year, 2019, so I wasn't going to get the weekend trifecta medal because I didn't complete the ultra. I could have gotten through a super and sprint the next day, but I felt like, what's the point? Like I know I can do it. I'm definitely not going to push myself. I'm not winning any places. I was just in the open anyway. So I wanted to be, again, support. So I brought a backpack with all my stuff that I didn't use and salt tabs, and I camped out in the largest team tent the whole day, and people coming back between races, before races, and just cramping and giving out you know salt pills and all this. And there's a couple of people that just look like death and give them salt pills and gels, and they didn't know what it was, and it helped them complete it. One of the other members, he did the beast and the super. And then, before his sprint, he's telling me bye. He's like, man, I tore my hand. And I'm looking, I'm like, dude, it's not that bad. I got tape. I can tape your hand up. He goes, well, I can tape it up, but blah, blah, blah. I said, well, the twister's not in. It's 3 miles. You're going to go out there. You're going to turn around. Come on. You get the weekend medal. It's the first one. And I kind of pushed him, and he's like, all right, I'll do it. And his wife was like, thank you. I was trying to convince him, but he didn't want to hear it from me. I think he wanted you to convince him, so I convinced him to go back out, and he was real happy because of course he was able to complete it. And, he was very happy that he didn't give up, which is kind of like my experience with you folks. So, this past year, the beast, I was cramping towards the end, not as bad as 17. But we got through it. It was a slow pace. And then the next day at the super, I thought 10K would be okay. It ended up being closer to 8 miles, and the last 2 miles was brutal. I wasn't able to eat between events, which is something I need to learn how to do. So after the beast, I had 2 pieces of toast. Terrible diet, for between races, not enough fuel. My stomach, I just couldn't eat. The next morning, a croissant and a banana, and that was it. And I just couldn't eat. So on the course, by after mile 6, I think my stomach was just trying to, shut down and cramp. And after the sled drag, I was feeling like I was gonna lose my lunch. Not dizzy, just felt like I overexerted myself. And that's kind of how it was the last couple miles. And if it wasn't for hanging out with you guys, I would have taken a lot longer. And who knows, how would it turned out, right? I think I would have completed. It would have taken me probably twice the amount of time. So we're trying to make the cutoff for the 115, right? So our party pace ended up being a lot faster than a party pace, and I think it was Tracy's fault. She's a beast as well. But
Yes.
yeah, so we made the cutoff time, but I was so out of it by the end of that, that I just laid down in the tent and passed out, for like an hour. And I told Tracy and a couple of the others, like, yeah, I can't do it. And I was in my head already. I was like, well, I didn't train. I got through a beast and super. That's pretty good, but my stomach was so jacked up. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't do the sprint, So I passed out for about an hour. I woke up, and there was a couple there, sitting there like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, kind of stomach's jacked up. And we're talking for a little bit. And she was eating a baked potato. I was like, wow, that looks pretty good. Is this good? She goes, yeah, it's actually pretty good. I was like, okay, maybe I'll go get a baked potato. And it's like, I slept for about an hour, I'll eat a baked potato, then I'll go home and help my fiance with the twins, I just call it a day, early day. On my way to get the baked potato, I hear more of the Ohana calling me. And actually, while I was thinking about getting the baked potato, I was thinking Louise, LG, she started the super after us. And I'm like, she's probably going to be starting the sprint soon. I hope I don't see her, because she's probably going to try to talk me into it. I'm feeling really crappy. I don't want to tell her no. I might not be able to say no. And I was like, oh, and so I was beelining over to the baked potato, and they call me. And of course, it's Louise and Brandon and Mark. And they're like, and of course, you, Mike, you're like, hey, and I thought you guys were done. Like, I was gonna go, I was on my way there, congratulate, hey, good job on the trifecta. And you guys like, where's your sprint? How come you're not registered? What's going on? I was like, oh man, my stomach is jacked up. I don't think I can do it. And Brandon's classic line is like, you don't think you can do it? I was like, well, maybe I should rephrase
You're in
that.
trouble.
Yeah, I was like, oh, maybe I should have said I can't. My stomach, I was, for a second before debating on getting the potato, for a second, I was like, maybe I can do it. It's only 3 miles. Maybe I can do it. No, I can't. And then, but all you guys are like, man, you're so supportive, and, we'll go at your pace. We can walk. Mark was like, yeah, I was hurting too. We can walk. Brandon's like, I got applesauce, which that's another story, and which actually was pretty good. I got applesauce and that'll help. Come on, let's go get your registration. I was like, oh, okay. Because I really wanted to do it. I wanted to complete it. I don't like quitting. I just didn't think I had it in me, physically in me. So long story long, you guys convinced me to do it. Even at the start line, I was like, maybe I shouldn't even start. That's how jacked up my stomach still was. But we started going, and then you guys were like, I thought you wanted to go at party pace. I'm like, I thought I'm following you guys. No, you're in the front. I'm like, why am I in the front? So So in my mind, I was just trying to, go. Um, so, with the support of you folks and, we're kind of at a slower pace on the uphills, jogging the downhills, we were able, to complete it. I was able to complete it. And I mean, I was halfway out the door. I was checked out in my mind completely, and so that's when it was really something that really touched me, and on the way home, I did a live video and kind of got a little emotional, but that's something that, I want people to experience from the other end. Like, I want to be the one supporting, but the fact that I needed the supporting and you guys were there to support me, and I was able to get through it. And it actually wasn't that bad. My stomach didn't get worse. I didn't cramp. And I was still able to do the obstacles I normally able to complete when I do train, and the ones that I can't complete when I train, like the Hercules and stuff, that I always need help with those, or got a burpee out on those. But if it wasn't for that support that I got from you folks in the Ohana, there's no way I would have done it. So this weekend medal is definitely very, very meaningful to me. So yeah.
I mean, it goes to show everything you built with the Ohana. I mean, it's, I do agree though that at some point we need some help from the listeners and everything. We need to come up with a challenge.
Yeah.
Potato challenge.
Yeah.
So,
And I never got the baked potato. So after
yeah.
I went to go get it and they were sold out, and I got the worst hamburger. It was terrible. But anyway.
Yeah. So we got to come up with the potato challenge just for you.
We got to think of something. Baked potato challenge. Oh my gosh. It's classic.
It's something like, 3 miles with some hot potato squats or something. I don't know. We'll
Yeah. And eat a baked potato after.
Yeah. You got to have the baked potato afterwards.
And we'll have Darren make the patch.
Make a nice patch. I mean, it was a great weekend. I mean, it's always fun with you guys. And I mean, then of course, what was it? Tuesday, we all went over to your house.
Yep.
I mean, a bunch of us got together and talked about everything and got to kind of download with each other, which was amazing.
Yeah.
There's a couple people I didn't get to see on the race that I was able to see at the party and stuff like that, and Jono was there and stuff like that. And I mean, I ran into Jono and Eric at the course, but those guys are quick.
Yeah.
I've got great pictures of me and Eric together in the barbed wire in Montana, but I keep
I saw that. It's classic.
You caught up to him in the barbed wire? I'm like, no, he caught up to me. He was on the sprint. I was still on the super.
Yeah, he's a beast. So my goal, so even that year, 2019, we had like a pre-party, and I think we were trying to plan a post party, but I don't think we're able to. So some people ended up just kind of doing different things at different places. So this year, because of the twins, I wasn't able to, do a pre-party. But so I'm glad we're able to do a little bit of a post party, but I think next year, hopefully things with the COVID will be, more settled. And, that's something I really want to do, because I, that was so fun, getting to meet people before the race, whether it's 2 days before, the day before, and, just having people connect, because that's when you're at the venue, everybody's kind of in their own lane and just doing their thing. And, they're not really, unless we have the largest team tent, but still, people are just focused on what they need to do.
Yeah.
At 2019, when we had the get together, everybody's, just relaxed and, hey, nice to meet you, and, getting to know each other. And, I really, really like that. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do it this year, but yeah, going forward, I would love to have a pre-party and a post-party, because, not to be mean to Spartan, but that luau is, that food is terrible.
I've never gone to it, because the first year we chose not to, and then we've heard horrible things every time, so we've never done it.
Yeah.
But I love doing that stuff, because it's great to meet everyone. Because I mean, luckily I got to meet up with Darren and Tracy and Dale for dinner, which was some great Korean restaurant that we went to. And great conversation. So I mean, it was great meeting them beforehand. And but I mean, we didn't have that. I mean, it was so much fun that one year, in 19, where we just had everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was great. But I mean, we got a little bit of it, but COVID and everything else, and kind of has made things a little more difficult. So I mean, honestly, I don't think a lot of people realize how close to that race wasn't happening this year.
Yes, it really was.
Like
the
Monday
numbers,
Tuesday, he changed the governor changed the rules, and if it had been the next weekend, it wouldn't happen.
Yes, that's absolutely true. The numbers were going up, and and also too, we had another hurricane come in. So I mean, just like, what the heck is going on? But
so many people sending me messages, but they're like, "You think the race is going to happen? There's COVID. There's a whole nother hurricane." I'm like, I've been through this before and was there, and they
Yeah.
canceled it 2 days before the race,
Yeah.
but I was still in Hawaii,
Yep. That's
so
right.
I really
Yep.
wasn't too worried about it.
Yep. 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 So yeah, it
Because we
really
were there
was a
2 weeks.
great, yeah. Was
Because
that?
we were there for 2 weeks because we were in Maui for five
Yeah,
days
that's right.
before we
Yeah.
went to Honolulu. So, and
Nice.
the Maui's a whole nother story that I'm not going to go into on this podcast. Just know that, yeah. Make sure there's a spare tire in the rental cars.
Oh God.
Yeah, that was an
Uh,
adventure.
yeah.
But yeah, so it was awesome. It was great to see you again. I always love going over there and see you guys.
Yeah.
I should be there again next year. We're having
Awesome.
arguments on that right now.
Yeah.
But well, I've been leaning a little more towards triathlon this year because I've been trying to get kind of
Yeah.
test myself.
That's awesome.
In Juneau, Alaska, their inaugural full
Oh.
Ironman is
Oh.
August 7th of next year.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So I'm thinking
Yeah.
it depends on how I'm supposed to do that. I'm doing the half iron this month.
Yes. Yes.
And how depending on how that goes, I might be going for the
Right.
full in Alaska. So I
Yeah.
think we need a better wetsuit though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. How's that bicep doing?
It's doing better. It seems to be
Yeah.
better, but I don't know. It's been weird because it's been okay, and then all of a sudden I'll do something just right, and
Yeah.
I'll get that twinge through the bicep. I'm trying to take it easy considering
Yeah.
I'm supposed to swim a mile and a
Train.
half.
Yeah. Right.
So I got to make sure that it's gonna handle that swim. But I don't
Yeah.
know. It was the weirdest thing because it would be okay, and then all of a sudden I would do something just right, and I just get this
Oof.
twinge. And
Ouch.
you saw the worst twinge I got was trying to do
Yes.
the rope
That.
climb.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my
I
God.
thought something had tore on
I
that one.
thought when I saw you come down, I thought you tore something. I was
It
like,
was,
uh-oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but I
Yeah.
mean, it was within a couple hours. I mean, the pain, it kind of subsided. It was just a dull pain. And I mean, as long
Yeah.
as I'm able to lift things, I'm able to do stuff
Yeah.
now. I'm just taking it easy with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going swimming in the morning, going to see how the swim does. But yeah, it's been, I haven't mentioned to a lot of people about the bicep issue, but we'll see what happens. So
All right.
I may have to take it easy because I'm supposed to do the weekend before the triathlon. I'm doing the Seattle.
Oh,
So
yeah.
take it
Careful.
easy with that shoulder. Might have to watch that bicep and maybe burp you out of a couple things instead of doing them.
Yeah.
Just
Be
to
safe.
protect
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
because that mile and a half swim, I kind of need that bicep.
A lot. Yeah. That'd be
The
a
bike
much
ride and
longer
the-
swim.
Yeah, the bike ride and the run. The bicep isn't that important. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, is there anything else you want to say to the listeners while I got you? I mean, I love the Ohana. I mean, anybody who's
Yeah.
ever going to Hawaii or doing anything, or even if you're not and you just want to, connect
Yeah.
with some great people, one of the best groups I've ever been involved with
Thank you.
is, those Hawaii Spartan Ohana. I love the guys. I mean, I can't find anything bad to say about them. They're great. I mean, all heart and just taking care of each other. It's a
Yeah.
true
Thank
Ohana.
you. Yeah, I mean, I just want to grow it more, even internationally, nationally. So just to provide more support for everybody, if anybody in our Ohana is traveling, it's like, hey, I'm going to this state. Oh, we have Ohana there that you can, hook up with. And, I think it'd be great just to expand that way, even internationally as well. So yeah, get up on our, Facebook page, share information. I'm going to start doing weekly like discussions. I think I'm gonna post, I don't know, live or whatnot, but I have a list of things that I kind of wanted to do, like fuel. What salt pills do you take? What hydration do you take? And everybody's different, and some things will agree with people and others. So but I wanted to get people's feedback and input. Like Jono and Eric and you guys, and people that tried other things, and so people kind of have a little bit more information. Like, oh, I should try this. And also let people know it's like, oh, we need hydration, that kind of thing, or what kind of shoes to wear. I saw a lot of tennis shoes out there,
Oh, yeah.
So. I mean, just shoes and socks, what kind of socks to wear, blisters are a thing, maybe blister care, cramping, what to take for cramps and cramping, So I just, I think each week, maybe touch on a subject matter and, have people just chime in and, share their knowledge and, it could help others. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things people don't even realize are out there. I mean, it's like for me, I mean, I'm one of those. I've turned into a noon junkie. So I'm eating everything. I probably go through, I say 2 or 3 tubes of noon a week.
Wow.
'Cause
Okay.
I drink 2 or 3 of these, like
Yeah.
32-ounce bottles full of Noon
Yes,
every
yes.
day. Um,
Nice.
and I mean, that was one big change I made when I started losing the weight was
Mm.
I don't like the taste of water, but I like Noon. Noon is a good one. It's good electrolytes, but then other people like Liquid IV. I like Liquid IV too. It's just,
Yeah.
I happen to be a Noon ambassador, so I get Noon cheap. Liquid IV, I mean, honestly, if I was a Liquid IV ambassador, I'd probably use that. I mean, they're
Yeah.
both really good flavors. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those things I think that would be cool to have those conversations of
Yeah.
what different people use, like a lot of like fuels. People
Yep.
don't realize some of the fuels that are out there. I found a random one at a coffee shop that's become my new favorite.
Interesting.
They're protein pucks.
Oh,
And
cool.
I order them online in a box of like 30, and I just keep
Huh.
them and grab them, and they're a puck about yay big, and it's like oat and stuff like that, and it's really good, and it doesn't upset the
Nice.
stomach, and it works great. So that's become like when I do marathons, I keep 2 of those in a pouch. So
Love
I mean,
it.
that's, just one of those things. I think, a lot of people, there's a lot of weird things out there that people don't
Yeah.
think about, and that would be really cool to do. I'd love to be involved on that and help you with that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So even in 19, while we're training at the garage, I order a bunch of different like hydration. So I had Roctane, Liquid IV. I mean, and even Jason had a bunch. So I think we had 10 different hydration powders. And so we're mixing up little shakers of it and doing uh, taste testing during the workout. He was, hey, okay, let's try this one, so people can, see what the flavors like. Probably not the best thing to mix those type of things, but at least it was just small cups, tasted,
yeah.
I think the main thing flavor, and if it agrees with the stomach, but I like doing that kind of stuff. It was really fun. So
Oh yeah, and I hear a lot of questions on that on because I'm in a lot of groups, the Spartan groups, a lot of like triathlon groups now trying to get information on that stuff. And one of the big things I see in all of them is hydration and fuel.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, what should I take race day? My only thing I usually tell them, find something long before race day.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you don't want to try something new on race day. I have done that, and it is a very crappy situation.
Yep. And it can be crappy, literally.
Yeah, literally. So, literally. I think the first Hawaii one I did, I got to the first obstacle, and I'm like, I need to use that restroom.
Oh,
And they're like, that's for the
no.
volunteers only. I'm like, well, then there's going to be a nice little mess next to that if you please don't
Yeah.
let me do that.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, fine. Because I had eaten, I can't remember, it was dried mangoes or something I'd eaten that morning. And it was something I
Just
never
didn't
had on race
agree.
day, and it just did not agree with my stomach. So I have my like specific, this is what
Yes.
I'm eating the day of race
Yeah.
day, because I know my stomach isn't going to go, oh, yeah, this ain't working.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Not a good day.
So
So
yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I mean, if there's nothing else
Yeah.
you want to say to the listeners, like I said, I will put links to the Ohana on
Nice.
the when we post this, so people can find it. Find them. It's a great group, great people. So helpful, so amazing. Yeah, just I mean, you won't find a better group out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Richard. Thank you for being on the show with me. If you ever want to do it again, let me know to let
Sounds
people
good.
know more stuff.
All
You're
right.
always welcome.
Thank you, man. Look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. See you later.
Okay. Hello.
Thanks for listening to the BeastNet podcast. If you haven't done it yet, find us on Facebook, like and share the podcast. Give us a review on iTunes or Spotify. All these things will help to expand the show in the future. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear.